Maybe you've heard of the raffle that I'm holding. Maybe you're looking for more information. Maybe you'd like to know the backstory of the topic of this raffle, Sir John Perkins, my son. Stay tuned for today's GSPro V2 tips and find out more, but we won't be talking about GSPro. Stay tuned. All the details are in the show notes down below with links on how to buy a raffle ticket and all the information pertaining to the raffle and the prize at GSPro Golf Course, designed by myself, Tech Bud, and Justin. Welcome to a special episode of GSPro V2 Tips, and today we're not going to be talking about GSPro whatsoever. We're not going to be talking about any tips, but as you all know, I have recently started a raffle that is going to give away a free GSPro golf course design to the lucky winner. The name will be drawn on January 9th. As you know, all proceeds of this raffle are going to be going towards supporting Sir John, who we have in the studio with us today to talk about, one, his journey into becoming a soccer player, his life, who he is, and also how he feels about the support coming from such an interesting community as a bunch of simulator golf players. And so without further ado, we'll jump right into the interview with an introduction to Sir John. And so with that, I'll turn the mic over to Sir John for a moment to tell you a little bit about himself before we jump into some questions.
Hi, my name is Sir John Perkins. I'm currently playing soccer at AD Torrejon in Madrid, Spain. Before we start, I just want to say thank you for the support that I've already been receiving, and I'm excited to do this interview.
Well, Sir John, as you know, I came to you with the idea of this raffle to try and generate some revenue, some support dollars, as you will. Staying in Spain is not a cheap endeavor, nor is the journey to becoming a soccer player a cheap endeavor financially or personally, with the time that you have spent in preparing for an opportunity such as this since you were 6 years old. I remember as your dad that you had a love for many sports. And growing up in your early days, you would watch every single sport there was on television. But most importantly, I'd like to know, can you take us back to your first memories of playing soccer when you were around 6, and what actually drew you to the sport initially?
I guess I could say the freedom of the sport. I feel like with soccer, the way you can move the ball around and communicate with your teammates, even if you don't speak the same language, it just really drew me to that sport at that age.
How did participating in some of the programs that you had an opportunity to play in, like the Olympic Developmental Program, the Virginia Developmental Academy, and other leagues, semi-pro soccer here in the area as well, on indoor soccer, how did participating in programs like that shape your early soccer experiences?
It really showed me like the competitive side of football, as we call it there in Spain, but soccer here in the U.S. It also showed me that there's more to achieve, more to offer than just the regular recreational sports that you may see whenever you go outside or you go to a park. So going and experiencing those higher levels really pushed me and showed me that if I want to be a professional soccer player, this is what it takes.
Here's something that I'm particularly proud of, especially as your dad, and talking about the remarkable achievement of having graduated high school at 16. And I know that early on in elementary school you were progressing quickly with your academia, and so we made the decision to move you forward or to skip a grade early in that. How has graduating at 16, how hard was it to balance academics and your soccer commitments, especially as you transitioned into high school?
Well, for me, it wasn't super difficult because while everybody else was out, I usually just stayed at home, whether I was training or doing my schooling. I knew what I wanted at a young age, so I stayed dedicated and I stayed focused. and I think that's what brought me to where I am today.
Oh, wow, that's great. Thanks, Sir John. What were some of the biggest lessons that you learned during these high school years, both on the field and off the field?
Some of my biggest lessons off the field is I learned how to balance my work-life schedule as I started working part-time.
At the popcorn place, right?
I did. So I worked there, also balancing my sports and academics, as being that I was playing at VDA, which is Virginia Developmental Academy.
That was a long drive.
It was a long drive, so I had to balance being able to go to practice as well as games and my work on the weekends and during the week.
And sometimes empty the dishwasher, or maybe not empty the dishwasher, whichever the case may be. And I think that Miss Kizzy would probably say something about that room too, but who knows, right? But again, just the normal life of being a teenager. Speaking of family and home life and stuff, there were some challenges that you went through. Not just you, but we as a family. Changes, not so much challenges, but changes. And I feel that a lot of times that as we're going through changes and transitions and something is different, we never know how that's going to impact us, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. And you went through some of that as you transitioned from moving in with me, and I got a new wife, and you got a new baby brother, and you got a new stepsister. How did all that impact you as an individual mentally, as it deals with your mental strength and the resilience you have on the soccer field?
I mean, for me, I feel like it was a blessing. I mean, even though it was a big change, I felt like I adapted pretty well. I've learned now very valuable lessons in life, that things that are tough, when you push through it, that is usually a good outcome at the end of it.
Right.
So that's something that I definitely will live by now.
Right. And so what role has your family played since, you starting this soccer journey, the changes you've gone through in the family dynamics, and how have you adapted to those particular new dynamics within the family, the new makeup that you have, so to speak, today?
I mean, I feel like I said before, I mean, it's been a blessing, and my family, they've definitely adapted very well, like with me and my journey as becoming a professional soccer player. They've definitely taken that in, and they all have been very supportive of me, and I very appreciate that.
Well, I do remember that, especially as you got near and ready to graduate high school, that Miss Kizzy kept pushing you towards college as a means of furthering not just your education, but I also feel like it was an opportunity to open your eyes and further expand your vision of what is out there in the world, which led you to getting accepted on a partial scholarship down in South Carolina and playing some college soccer. So you were 17 and you headed on down to this thing called college to play soccer. And I know playing soccer at the college level is just a huge step. How did you adapt to this new challenge of being away from home for the first time, a young age, kind of living on your own, and having to juggle soccer and a college level education at the same time?
I mean, for me, it wasn't too difficult. I mean, yes, there's times where you miss home, but being that I played on the top teams in my area, I traveled a lot when I was younger.
Right.
And being that I switched from my mom to my dad, I feel like those type of transitions were as difficult for me. As for college, like soccer, like adapting to it, I feel like I was ready when I came to South Carolina at the time, because I played semi-professional soccer over the summer against a lot of Division I talent, so I felt like I was very prepared going into it.
Right.
And that's something that I always try to do, is I try to prepare for any situation that I go into. And so.
That makes sense. That's good stuff. So what has your college soccer experience taught you about, say, teamwork, leadership, coaching, and just participating on a team at a different level in a different environment completely?
I mean, college soccer definitely taught me like the bonding of teams. Like I said, I mean, I've traveled the area, but when you go to a school like that and it's 30 guys all fighting for those roster spots, it can get very competitive. But at the end of the day, everybody's your brother. You know, you always want to see the other man win, and that's been that.
Yeah, I can imagine that you don't ever want to see your teammate do bad, but at the same time, you want those minutes and you want that roster spot.
Sure.
So it can be challenging to be encouraging to your teammates and at the same time competitive in trying to get that spot.
Yeah.
So as you were getting near the end of college, I remember having a few conversations with you on the phone about, Dad, I'm ready to move on. I have an opportunity for this. I have an opportunity for that. I can't wait to get home for the summer, which I was actually ready to have you home for the summer too, because you know I'd only seen you once or twice. I got the chance to see you play in Richmond when you came up for a tournament for your school. But the decision that we made as a family was to finally take a chance and go to Spain. And moving to Madrid to play soccer is definitely a dream for many. Can you describe your daily training routine, the life of what it's like to be in Spain training, and how it's helping you grow as a player?
I mean, Spain, on a daily routine, it's just really focus on the simple things. Try to be consistent every day and stack good days. I mean, from when you wake up, eating right, sleeping right, your nutrition is all big, as well as going to the gym, making sure you're getting your gym work in. And then when you do show up to training at night, are you 100%? Are you 80%? Are you putting in full focus?
Right.
All those things they're little to some people, but to a player that like me who wants to be that professional level, I really focus on that consistency.
So you weren't over there just killing Chick-fil-A and getting fat.
Sadly, they don't have Chick-fil-A in Spain.
Thank God, because I've been telling you for years, eat right. But I'm glad that you finally got there. So how's the experience of playing in a different country? You know, as far as the cultural impact and your perspective just in game on your perspective on the game itself of soccer and also life in general now that you're in a foreign country.
I mean, like you said, it's a dream to many and it's a dream of mine. Like whenever I first arrived, being able to be in a Spanish-speaking country was a big thing for me. I always took Spanish in school, so being able to utilize that has been a big thing for me.
And you did mention that your Spanish has picked up a little bit.
It has. I can finally have basic conversation and speak to people, and also on the field, like it's very much of like a family. Like even in school, it wasn't how it is in Spain. Like in Spain, everybody is on like your team is very like kind and loving, and we're all just one big family.
Right. Makes sense. And that's great. So as it pertains to making the move to Spain, after being there about half the season now, you're getting ready to go back in a couple weeks and fly back there, and your dad's probably going to cry again. But what do you look forward to as you get ready to get back and actually get on the field?
I mean, for me, I want to play first team football, so going over there, it's kind of a clean slate. Like I played MLS Next here, which is a pretty high level, as well as USL, which is a very high level semi-pro. But over there, it hasn't really meant nothing. So going over there, I want to start by making that first team.
Oh, good. I'd like to see it, and hopefully they'll stream the game so I get to see them over here in the U.S. And so as you are moving forward and moving towards becoming a professional player and hoping to get seen or get scouted while you're in Spain, what are your main goals for the next couple of years?
My main goals is definitely to play in a top league. I want to be looked at as a professional player, not just as a player, but financially. I want to be able to take care of my family. That's my main goal.
Right. That's a pretty lofty goal, and you're welcome to take care of me as much and as long as you want. So go ahead and make that cash. So So how has playing soccer actually just shaped who you are as a person today? What impact has soccer had, not just on the pitch, but as you as a person within your heart?
I feel like soccer is my life. Like, regardless if I'm playing it on the pitch or off the pitch, whether I'm at home, there's days where you may not want to do something, but I always remember from my soccer career that you have to push through those. So whether it's, like you said, me wanting to empty the dishwasher or clean my room, I always push through those because I remember on the other side of that is a good outcome.
Remember who's number one. Always, right? In what ways has soccer been more than just a game for you?
Like I said, whenever my parents were transitioning through their separation, I felt like with soccer, it was my constant. It was something that I could lean on and fall back to no matter what was going on.
Soccer was there.
It was there, and it never left. So for that, I owe my life to it.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time. I know some of these questions may or may not be comfortable, or you definitely are not the type that likes to get in front of a camera and talk about yourself either. So I commend you and applaud you for taking the courage and the time to have this little interview. But I wanted to take a few minutes not only to commend you, but also each and every one of the watchers of my channel, subscribers of my channel, everyone who's bought a raffle ticket in support of this young man right here. No money at all is going into my pocket. It is 100% in support of Sir John. And I also want to take a minute to send a shout out to TechBud. TechBud, as you know, has designed hundreds of golf courses for this particular community, and he is going to donate his man hours in producing this golf course along with me in whatever small way that he lets me, and Justin, who is a fantastic 3D design modeler inside of Blender, as you know, and his work has been featured in many of TechBud's courses as well. But he's volunteering his time also to design this golf course for the winner. No money is going in his pocket. His donation to the cause is his time. So with that, I'd like to give Sir John and I a round of applause to everyone who has donated, bought tickets, and especially to Tech and Justin for your time. We know it's a lot of work in creating one of these courses, and we can't thank you enough. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe below, like this video, leave a comment, and if you have a question for Sir John, drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to get to you with his answer. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see you soon.